When I reviewed Amazon's first attempt at making a gaming headset, I was disappointed to say the least. So, against my better judgment, I immediately went and ordered the Amazon Basics Pro Gaming Headset to see if Amazon's second attempt at making a gaming headset could prove any better. I'll be reviewing the USB version here, but with the exception of the inline control box and connector at the end, this is the exact same headset as the 3.5mm version. Out of the box, these headphones come in a soft carrying pouch, which is a nice touch for throwing them in a bag for a LAN party, or for throwing them in a backpack for taking to work or school. However, I probably wouldn't recommend the latter, as you realize once you take them out of the bag and actually give them a look. The glossy black plastic design certainly could be worse, but that doesn't make me love them anymore, and they simply look cheap. And well, they also feel cheap. They squeak when being handled, and in general, everything feels pretty roughly put together and without much finesse. They're also quite stiff, so I would be careful about crushing them in a bag. At least the cable is nice and braided, but with an inline control box that unfortunately takes the same glossy plastic as with the headphones, with buttons for volume up, down, and for muting the headphones or microphone. Buttons which I knowingly kept accidentally pressing because the control box falls right where the edge of my desk is. This design, combined with wearing them for the first time, really did not inspire me with much confidence towards their comfort. And for about the first 2 weeks of use, the clamping force was so strong in my head that it gave me a headache. That said, after those 2 weeks of use, I was genuinely surprised. The height adjustment is notched with an acceptable but slightly small range, and the ear cups swivel vertically but not horizontally. What saves these headphones comfort-wise is how not dense they are in combination with the large ear cups that have both memory foam pads and are removable if you need to wash or replace them. There's no padding on the inside of the headset, but that wasn't an issue for me, and the headband, well, its padding is almost laughable, and the pleather feels bad, has just enough cushion to be fine on my head. If I were to give these headphones a letter grade for comfort, it would be a solid B. Pretty good, not a ton to complain about, but not anything great or particularly special. And if you do decide to get them and feel that they are not comfortable out of the box, I would highly recommend manually breaking them in before returning them to see if they like them once they've shaped to your head. That said, the biggest problem Amazon Basics had with their previous headset was sound quality. So how does this Pro version sound audio-wise? This time, instead of being utterly abysmal, the audio quality is fine. Good even. They're quite mid-heavy and lack a ton of bass, but they still have a punchy sub-bass, and when compared to the highly recommended HyperX Cloud 2s, I honestly prefer the sound of these headphones as the extra mids make everything sound a little bit clearer, and I prefer a flatter frequency response curve. Stereo separation is great, and I didn't notice any problems in games, and the imaging is decent. About what you'd expect for a gaming headset. The worst thing I can probably say about the audio quality is that overall they just kinda sound hollow. So with the increase in headphone audio quality, has the microphone audio quality suffered at all?
Nope, not at all. In fact, I'd say that this microphone is even better, with a much improved mic arm that isn't quite as positionable, but just feels nicer to move, is sturdier, and doesn't have a large windscreen to lose. This microphone doesn't sound a ton different from my dedicated Bluebird microphone, and sounds only slightly worse than the Neewer NW700, which alone costs $40 for a working kit. Unless the person listening is an audiophile or engineer, nobody without a direct comparison will ever notice this microphone's quality, whether it's a voice call, gameplay recording, or even a voiceover.
In conclusion, at this price point, you can most certainly buy headphones that sound better, but with a microphone that isn't even in the same ballpark as these. You could also buy a microphone that sounds better than these, but then you wouldn't have headphones. In general, these headphones were just good enough that I could pretty much get used to them. And if you can find them on sale for around $30, then I think this is actually a pretty decent little gaming headset. And even at $40, I would say it's not a bad choice. At $50 is where I start to have a hard time justifying them, as that's where headphones start to get good. So unless you really want a nice microphone, for $50, I would say look elsewhere. But all in all, I'm surprised at how much better these are compared to Amazon Basics' first attempt at a gaming headset. And this product is starting to instill confidence in the quality of Amazon Basic peripherals once again. Decent job, Amazon. They also feel cheap. What are you doing? No! No! Stop!